Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm doing another what sold from last week video. We will dive into what sold last week on both eBay and Poshmark, talk about a few select items and why they sold for how much they did. If you like this kind of content, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell down below. That way you'll get notified every time I post these videos. If you like it while you're watching, you can also give it a thumbs up. Let's jump right into those sales. All right, so everything that you see here are my sales between June 12th through the 18th. That is a couple weeks behind. In total that week, I sold 122 items for a gross sales total of $3,722.32. I just cannot seem to get back over 4,000. I think we're in a little bit of a summer slowdown, and I'm like combating that with listing a little bit more and getting some more high quality items. So hopefully that will round back out, and by the time Q4 rolls around, I will be booming. But I'm trying really hard to get back over that 4,000 mark every single week, but not going so good right now. Average sale price is still a little low at $30.51. I'd like to see that go back up closer to $40. I think people are just really hurting with money right now, so they are looking for a better deal than they are previously, and they're just buying my lower priced items, which is totally fine. We will just adjust. Estimated cost of goods was $488 based on an average buy cost, making my estimated net $2,131.72. That is my gross sales, less cost of goods, less fees, and less shipping costs. On eBay, I sold 79 items that week. On Poshmark, I sold 43. We've been doing a little bit better on Poshmark. We've not been cross-posting consistently, which means that we've not been listing consistently on Poshmark. Hopefully that number will continue to go up as we get back into a rhythm. Gross sales on eBay were over $2,500, and they were over $1,100 on Poshmark. Really happy with those numbers. Got a lot of really good high sell-through items to show you, so let's dive into the sales. So first up are these pair of True Religion women's bobby flare jeans. These are a size 30, so pretty decent size. I did a Google Lens search of this like embroidery detail, and these were called the Lady Godiva bobby flare jeans, and that really made a big difference in the comps. So if you come across something very unique, especially on a pair of jeans, some of them are more valuable than others, so definitely keep your eye out for those. I don't usually pick up women's True Religion jeans because they just don't tend to perform well for me, but something just told me that these were special because of the embroidery. We paid up for these. We paid $6.99. They sold on an offer pretty quickly for $58.45, and we made sure that our cover photo did include the embroidery. Next up is a sale that had previously been returned to me, but I'm happy that we sold it again. The brand is Bia, which if you see this tag does not look like much, but it is a Johnny Was line. Johnny Was is a really great brand to sell, but I did not really, realize that it wouldn't say Johnny Was on the tag for a very long time. So I'm bringing this to your attention. It's kind of like Anthropologie pieces where they have different subsets of brands. So Bia is definitely one of them, not to be confused with Bila with an L. But these Bia dresses and other various clothing items do extremely well. This one was 100% silk, and it was kind of like a slouchy, I don't know if you can tell from the photo, but it is shaped a little oversized and then slouches on the sides. I originally paid $4.39 for this. We had this priced, I think, at like $85. It got returned to us already once for fit, so I have been sitting on it for a little bit of time. So I decided to take an offer of $65. I thought that was fair as we have been sitting on it for a little while, and maybe I priced it too high in the first place. I would definitely keep your eye out for this brand. Next up is a brand I just came across. This sold pretty much instantly as soon as I listed it. It's called Uzi NYC. I mentioned this in a thrift haul. This brand has an extremely high sell-through rate. Just by looking at it, it doesn't look like anything super special, but one of the things that drew me to this item was its oversized kind of login look features and style. So that's what made me look up this tag. I paid $4.69 for it. It sold very quickly on an offer to watchers for $53.96. Silver Jeans is a brand of jeans I really like selling, but in particular the men's jeans have just a way better sell-through rate than the women's, especially these days. So if you come across any jeans that are by the brand silver that are in the men's category. Definitely worth doing a comp on if you don't typically pick up this brand. I just noticed we probably should have put the word Zach in here, but they still sold pretty quickly. These were called the Joga jeans. They were like jeans and sweats combined. Very popular item. We paid only $2.99 for these. They sold for a full asking price of $34.92. And next up is one of my favorite athletic wear brands to sell. It is Vuori. Now, with a lot of these higher end athletic wear brands, a lot of the times when you come across them, the tag is not going to be on the inside. The size tag, the brand tag, so you kind of have to look for these logos or these signs that it is a higher end brand. In this case, Vuori usually says it or has a small patch, so this is what you're looking for. This brand has a really high sell-through rate in both men's and women's items, and so I always pick it up. This is kind of a sweatshirt, zip sweatshirt, women's pullover. We paid $4.99 for this. It's sold for our full asking price of $44.95, and it looks like it took about a month to sell. Next is another extremely high sell-through rate brand, another one we just recently came across. If you guys watched my brands I didn't know about thrift haul that just came out, this was featured in that haul. It is AYR. I feel like one of you guys told me that stands for all year round. I might be getting that wrong, but I think that's correct. All year round, AYR. Very like unassuming tag, but that is a good indicator that it's worth something. Again, the oversized kind of minimalist features is what made me think this might be higher end. This is just a t-shirt. And I found a second one of these in just a different color. These were called the French fry shirts. I paid $4.69 for each of them, and they each sold pretty much immediately for my full asking price of $39.96. Next up is something I picked up for style. Brand to me doesn't really matter, but if you'd like to see it, the brand is Morgan Taylor. And this is just an intimates piece, but as we know, these like silk slip dresses are being worn instead of pajamas or nightwear as dresses. And so I'm always keeping my eye out for these, not only in the dress wear section, but also in the pajama section. And then I just kind of tailor it as a slip dress. So I also like to put Y2K in it if it's got like the cowl detail. This cowl detail, in my opinion, really adds value where it kind of drapes in the front. So make sure to include that and into the price if you've got something with a cowl neck. And just by looking at this, we probably should have put that into our title. So silk obviously helps to add value as well. And I just kind of price these. I make up a price. I usually price them somewhere between $35 and $40 unless the brand is pretty recognizable in this type of clothing. I paid $4.99 for this, and it sold for our full asking price of $39.95. Next up is Athleta. We sell a lot of this brand. This one was a 1X, which plus sizes tend to do better in almost everything. In this case, it did extremely well. So this was actually new with tags. It was called the Cloudlight Stratus Tee. We paid $4.69 for this, and it sold for an offer to watchers for $35.94. This is a brand we've talked about in the past. If you come across it, kind of an obscure brand, but has a pretty decent following. It is Frank and Eileen. This is a men's button-up, and sometimes it's kind of hard to tell, is it men's, is it women's, so I always just look at the way the buttons are going. We paid $5.99 for this. It has a really good sell-through rate. It sold for a full asking price of $34.93. It did take a few months to sell. Next up are a pair of Danskos. I don't pick up everything in this brand anymore. It's got to be in pretty good condition or in a unique pattern. These ones were in pretty good condition, and they were just a pair of plain black clogs, but they were a size 40 European sizing, which is a larger size, which helped up the value. Paid $4.99 for this. It sold for our full asking price of $29.93. Had this had some kind of a cool pattern on it, I probably would have listed it closer to $35 to $40. Next up is a pair of American Eagle jeans. We definitely skip on a lot of American Eagle jeans at a regular thrift store, mainly because they are just priced far too high. We pay $6.99 for almost all of our jeans now at our regular Goodwill, and that's if they don't price them up. But at the bins, we do like to pick them up, and then obviously certain styles that are no longer available do good as well. These were called the boyfriend jeans in a size 14. 14 is a larger size, so I do like picking it up. And we got these at the bins, so probably paid a few bucks for them. They sold for our full asking price of $29.95, which is pretty good for a pair of pre-owned American Eagle jeans. When it comes to American Eagle jeans, we're definitely sticking to the larger sizes and the more modern pieces. You definitely want to do a comp with that style name on the inside, and also probably with the size. I think that makes a big difference. Next up is a Tommy Bahama dress. This one was called the Daphne dress. Got this and took a look at it because it was linen. These are the kind of dresses we're looking for with linen blends in them. Linen is performing extremely well in a lot of categories. We paid $4.99 for this, and it sold on an offer for $34. This is a pretty cool find. This is also a bins find. This is a vintage Reebok shirt. As you can see, it's got some issues, right? It's got some staining and holes. I did try to soak it and get some of that color out, but it's still a bit dingy. I thought it was a really cool graphic though, and it was a 90s t-shirt, so I listed it at $30, even with all of that, stuff going on with it, and it still sold for our full asking price. I paid for this at the bins, so again, probably only $1 into this one. This is one of my favorite brands to sell. I'm sure you guys are getting tired of us talking about it, but it is Knox Rose. We try to stick to the larger sizes in this brand or the more substantial pieces, and we used to only pick it up at the bins when we could get it for $1 to $2, but now we're even picking it up at the regular thrift stores if it has enough going for it. So in this case, this one was an extra large blouse, and it had some embroidery detail. I thought it was really pretty. In general, again, the larger sizes do good. We got this one on sale for $2.24. It sold for our full asking price of $22.95, which in my opinion is amazing for a pre-owned sleeveless top. Sleeveless tops do not perform well for us typically, but in this brand they do. You guys are going to see a lot of Knox Rose in this video. This next one I picked up based on style. It is just by the brand The Limited, and you can tell it's kind of an older tag. Again, silk helped to up that value, and it had that Y2K style, so I included that into my title. And hopefully by showing you some of these Y2K styles, it'll help you get a better understanding of what to look for in this trend. Definitely should have steamed before we took this photo. I don't know if we tried to steam and it just wasn't coming out, but definitely should have steamed. Oh well, it still sold pretty quickly. We paid $4.69 for it. It sold on an offer to watcher for $22.45. Next up is a Lucky Brand top, kind of along the same lines with Knox Rose. We're not going to pick this up outside of the bins unless it is a larger size or something super substantial. In this case, it was a size 2X. I think anything extra large and up in this brand performs pretty well. The comps are there, the sell-through rate's there. If you start going below that, you're going to see a dip in sell-through rate and average sale price, so just keep that in mind. Not everything is built the same way in Lucky Brand. I paid $4.69 for this. We listed at $24.95, and an offer to watchers was sent out for $22.45, which someone accepted. Here's another Knox Rose piece. We picked this up at the bins. This was a size 2X, larger size, a bit more of a substantial piece. It is a cardigan, and it was really pretty. Could not say no to that. Again, got it at the bins. It did sell for a full asking price of $24.94, and it took a couple months to sell. Next up is another Knox Rose piece. We actually paid full price at a thrift store for this one. We paid $4.99 for this dress, and it was a size large, so not a plus size, but still a larger size. And it sold for a full asking price of $24.96. This one took about a month to sell. This one is an interesting men's brand. I think they also sell women's too, but I can only speak for the men's pieces. It's Cool with a K, and they make like UPF shirts. So keep your eye out for these. They're very unassuming, but they do have a logo, and they're just a very lightweight, like cooling kind of activewear shirt. I paid $4.39 for this. It sold for a full asking price of $24.93. You're definitely not going to see a huge like ASP on this, but the sell-through rate is there. Moving on to some of the Poshmark items. This was also a bins find. I can't say no to Nuitag's leather goods at the bins. Like, it just cannot happen. So even though this isn't typically a brand I would pick up in leather goods unless it was something kind of special, had something more going for it, but Nuitag's at the bins could not say no. So this is just a wrist wallet. This one's actually faux leather. My bad. This is faux leather, but it was Nuitag's. I probably paid $1 to $2 for this because it's so lightweight, and it sold for $25. This is a newer to me athletic wear line, and I wanted to show it in case you're not familiar. The brand is Alphalete, and it usually says it somewhere on the garment. As long as the tearaway label still inside, it also says it on the tag. These are a pair of women's Alphalete yellow extra large shorts. Had quite a bit going for it. These sold relatively quickly. I paid $4.69 for them. I think we have them listed at around $30 on Poshmark, and we accepted an offer of $23. Shorts definitely have a good sell-through rate in this brand. They just don't sell for as much as like the pants. So keep your eye out for Alphalete. Here's another good athletic wear piece that sold. This is a pair of men's Lululemon pants. I always like to point this out because people do not realize that you can find men's Lululemon stuff. Here's an example of a men's Lululemon logo. We paid $5.99 for these, and they sold for $59. Could not for the life of me figure out what the style name was, so we just listed as is with some keywords, and they sold. These are a pair of Can jeans. I am so back and forth with this brand. This brand seems to sell better on Poshmark, but then sometimes surprises me on eBay. I'll just say that the sell-through rate is not there in the eBay comps, but they do appear to be pretty popular on Poshmark. So if it's got the right factors, we'll go ahead and get it. These were a pair of distressed high-rise jean. We paid $4.69 for these, and they sold for $22 on Poshmark. This is another men's Lululemon piece. Here's another example of a men's Lululemon logo. They typically have darker logos in my opinion. This was definitely an older style, and again, we could not find the style name because I think they were both pretty older styles, so we just listed as we saw it. So this is something we paid $4.69 for, and it sold on an offer for $40. This is something that was free to me through a friend, but it is a vintage men's ice hockey NHL Florida Panthers jersey from the 90s. I'm going to be honest, I know nothing about jerseys. I don't typically look for them because I know that there's fakes and I just don't know sports. But when presented with a couple vintage jerseys that I could sit down and really research, I looked into a couple of them and they have since sold. This is one of those pieces. So I paid nothing for this. It sold for $75. Certain vintage jerseys can do well. You just really have to keep an eye out on the comps, but in this case, definitely one I would keep a lookout for. Here's another Knox Rose piece. You guys are probably going to be sick and tired of this. There's one more. This one and one more in this video, but I did want to highlight that we're selling a lot of this brand. I know people say it doesn't move for them. It moves for us, and it's moved for several of my viewers that have come back and said that they're selling it now. So give this brand a try if you can pick it up pretty cheaply, and also try to focus on larger sizes or more substantial pieces. This one was just a size medium. We only paid $1.99 for it. It sold for $17. This is a scrubs top. This is an example of an item I will pay full price for because the sell-through rate is so high, even though I'm only going to sell it for $20. So I paid $4.69 for this. Normally my rule is about $5 into 25, but sometimes I'll make exceptions for things that I know are going to be a very quick flip. The Figs Technical Collection stuff always performs really well for us. So I paid full price for this, and it sold for $20. This is a Donna Jo women's skirt. Nikki came across this and looked it up because of its unique pattern. This one we paid $3.99 for, and it sold for $38. I would highly recommend picking this up if you come across one that's kind of wacky like this. Here's another example of something we'll pay up for to only fit for about $20 because the sell-through rate's there, and they are board shorts. There's a lot of men's board short brands right now that are doing extremely well. I do think that there's kind of a short window, so I would pick them up now. I'd be cautious about it here in about a few weeks, but as you are moving out of summer, the sell-through rate will completely drop on these board shorts. But then once summer starts rolling around again next year, these items will come back up in sell-through rate. So right now we're just taking advantage of that small window and flipping them as quickly as possible. So Quicksilver amphibian shorts, this particular style amphibian does really well for us. Again, just a pair of board shorts. We paid $3.99 for them. They sold for $21. This is a pair of Diesel men's jeans. If you're not familiar with this brand, this is an excellent brand to pick up in the men's section. And particular styles are very rare. In this case, this one was called Zatiny. I actually paid up for this because I was that confident in the style. I paid $18 for these. They sold for $70. Really great return on investment, but definitely make sure to do your comps with the style name. I see people underprice these all the time. This is another pair of men's pants that are worth getting. Adriana Goldschmied in women's is not doing pretty well unless it's a particular style, but in the men's department, this brand performs pretty good in men's pants and jeans. These were called the Graduate Tailored Leg. They're just a pair of brown pants. We picked these up at the bins for a couple bucks, and they sold for $40 on Poshmark. This is like kind of a one-off. This is something, again, we picked up for style and its size. So this is a plus size 2X new tags women's dress, and it's Old Navy. A lot of people don't pick up Old Navy. I leave 99% of it behind, but certain occasions I will pick up Old Navy stuff. So new tags, plus size, a substantial piece, floral pattern. Paid $4.39 for this, and it sold on an offer for $20. Here's that brand Alphalete again, and as you can see, the pants do a lot better than the shorts. So these are a pair of women's black leggings. I think this is the newer label, Alphalete, with the cursive writing. And these ones sold for $45. We paid $4.69 for them, but definitely a brand you want to keep an eye out for in the athletic wear category. I think they make men's too. Okay, here's the last Knox Rose. This one sold for $29 though. We paid $4.50 for this. It sold for $29. I think it sold so much because it is a midi to maxi length dress. It's a size 1X. It's floral. It's tiered. It's peasanty. It's got a lot going for it, so we price it higher. This is like the epitome of what I would love to pick up every single day, and Knox Rose. Great sell-through rate. This like maxi midi style does extremely well and flips really, really fast. So I was happy with that one. These last two are also example of board shorts where I pay full price for them, but they sell between 20 and 25 bucks and flip very quickly again within that short window. So these are RCVA. No, that's wrong. RV, I got that backwards. RVCA men's board shorts, and we paid $4.69 for these. They sold for $25. And lastly, a pair of men's Second Skin compression shorts. These are not board shorts, but they are a pair of men's gym shorts, and we paid $4.69 for these. They sold for $25. So keep your eye out for these. I do think it depends on the style on this brand, but I'm going to keep my eye on this one. Alright guys, so that's it for what sold last week. I hope that you guys enjoyed watching. Again, don't forget, if you're not already, to subscribe down below. Love having you guys here on this channel, and feel free to join us on one of our next lives and say hi. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.